Hello and namaskar. Welcome to yet another episode of Trinayani's podcast. I am Aastha Shah, an intern at NGO Trinayani, and with me I have Miss Ritika Sahni, the founder trustee of Trinayani. And we are glad to host Sangeeta Wadhwa today for our podcast. Sangeeta Wadhwa is a psychologist counselor, motivational speaker, anchor, and like that wasn't nearly enough, also an event manager. She lives with thalassemia and is an advisor to thalassemia patients and their parents, which includes managing thalassemia in multiple cities for the past 25 years. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji, for your time today.
Namaskar. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Trinayani, to you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm really feeling great. And because being a thalassemic, I feel I'm complete. Because being with the thalassemia, it's a lots of challenge. But in spite of challenges, I learned a lot with my parents, my doctors, with my mentor, and my parents who is always looking forward to me and saying this, no, you have to fight this battle alone and face the society's issues.
Thank you, Sangeeta. In fact, that's why we wanted to have you on board, because I think all our stories need to be heard. And through your story, we would like people to know more, not just about thalassemia, but our very first question that Aastha has framed for you is about, Aastha?
This is a more general question before we actually delve into thalassemia and what your life has been with it. So, can I request you to first differentiate between the three types of blood disorders, namely hemophilia, thalassemia, and sickle cell anemia, my bad, which are all actually recognized as disabilities under the Rights for Persons with Disabilities Act 2016?
So like for these all the genetic inherent disorders, like the same in thalassemia, we reduce the hemoglobin and we require the frequent transfusions, and like same into the sickle cell anemia also. But in hemophilia, it is a bleeding disorder in which blood does not clot properly. So these are the three different genetic disorder which is now under into the Disability Act.
So, Sangeeta, now we come directly to your journey. When were you diagnosed with thalassemia? And since then, how have you been managing it?
When I was 5 years old, my thalassemia is detected. Doctor told me she's not suffering from the jaundice and she's not suffering from this simple anemia which is required iron deficiency or B12. She is suffering from thalassemia after doing my parents' thalassemia screening test. So first question my dad asked to doctor, because my daughter is not well, so why are you doing test to me? So he said no, because it's a genetic disorder, so we need to test both the parents. So after that he comes and he said कि उसका life तो बहुत कम रहेगा. So my parents was into the trauma, and she was facing psychological issues and like many things. मतलब it is very difficult for them to understand and face that.
Come to terms, yeah, to come to terms.
Yeah, the terms and that particular situation. And because that time in 70s nobody knows about thalassemia, so thalassemia, it's a new bimari, like a cancer for them. So like after like they went to some babas, they went to all to doctors, but nobody is like treating for me this, and everybody saying nahi, there is a no treatment for thalassemia and they will die soon. So, but because my parents are educated, my dad was a government officer and my mom is a teacher. So she did all my youth, like my cousins, they do and encourage them to do the thalassemia screening test. And because the bad thing is when my thalassemia is detected, when my mother was a pregnant, and that time test was not available. So by bad luck, my sister was also a thalassemia major, and like she's like for me, I detected as a thalassemia in age of 5, but she is like from when she born, and after soon we come to that she required the same treatment which I'm getting it. So the burden of two patients at the home, it is very difficult for them to face all these situation, but still they are like encouraging me and they motivate me every day. So I'm very thankful to my parents because they decided to give me the blood transfusion, and they don't like, because I being a counselor I'm facing this with many parents are not ready to give the blood transfusion currently, and they said कि नहीं जाता है तो जाने दो.
So no, let me ask you this question, Sangeeta, because the idea of the podcast is to break down this whole information for our audience. So you are saying that you were diagnosed with thalassemia, and then you talked about blood transfusion. So could you tell us that what is the frequency of blood transfusion, and is this something that you have to live with all your life, so that people are aware of the condition in a much more deeper manner?
Yeah, because thalassemia, there is two types of thalassemia. It's a major and minor. So minor does not require any thalassemia blood transfusion, but in major, because our hemoglobin levels get down and our RBC is not generating the new cells, so that's why we require frequently blood transfusions. So for me, I'm taking blood transfusion at every 15 days. So for living also, we require the blood transfusion. It's like a petrol to the car. So if I'm not getting the transfusion, so maybe I can't live this life normally. So I'm dependent on others' blood basically, into the simpler word.
So when you go for these frequent blood transfusion, Sangeeta, is it something you go to the hospital to do it?
Yeah, because it's a proper admission treatment. We have to go to the hospital. We have to admit for the day, because it's a daycare procedure, because we require every 15 days, like a kidney dialysis type. So we'll go for the transfusion. We'll go give the samples, and they give the blood to us. And after 8 hours, so we discharge for this. Because previously, when I was in my age of 5 or 6, that time it requires 2 days admission, but slowly and gradually many people efforts for this, for the daycare system only. So now we don't require to stay over it, but yes, into rural development area or many other hospitals do this the same old procedure. But in our daycare center, we go in the morning and we'll come by evening.
So by the very nature of the condition where you have to go to the hospital every 15 days, are there any other challenges? Have you, is there any other side effects? Have you or people you know and you advise contracted any other thing just because of this blood transfusion that happens? Is that a area of concern?
Yeah. Yes, because after transfusion, we faced many side effects like chills, fever, headache, and also because of infected blood, we also chance to have infections like HIV, hepatitis C, and many other infections is also there. So it is life threatening also. So for that, actually, we required a good quality of blood, screening of good donors, and because nowadays many metropolitan cities or in the big cities only having a good quality of testing bloods are available, like net testing, ELISA method, 6 fourth generation ELISA method, leuko reduced blood is also there. So after that, we are not getting so much of reaction, but still it's always be a chance to infected, like life threatening HIV and hepatitis C, as I mentioned. So for that, we require the good quality of blood as well. So this thing, it's like fear of death. No, when I was a child and also being a counselor, I am still facing this problem. Like patient who is dependent on blood, having a some like internally difficulty to face that ki oh, if I'm having getting, so mujhe kuch ho jayega, and all fear of death is also there. So this is very challenging for them to face all the every district transfusion, because one of my friend last time said मैं transfusion के लिए जा रहा हूँ, I don't know I'll come back or not. So like he said कि I'm also going for every 15 days, don't worry, no कुछ नहीं होगा. So he said no, because because we are googling it, we are knowing in it, so like in they feel कि yes अभी हो सकता है, and all such things are there, but still we have to face.
Definitely, I agree. I agree with what you said. I mean, the fear is always going to be there unless and until we don't kind of ensure that everyone has knowledge about it to the extent we'd like to. The fear is always going to be there. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, I forgot to mention one more thing, because ma'am asked me the transfusion infection also, because due to the frequent transfusions, we are generating the more iron into the body, and the excessive iron actually damages our organs also. It may be a cause for heart failure, liver damage, every endocrine issues. So many patients are not getting proper chelation and proper treatment, so they are not into their adolescent age, and they don't face like a normal, like they like a scanty faces and all, because iron is also damaging their body very badly.
Correct. So, Astha, what about her NGO? You wrote
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Steering a little towards your NGO and your work. Your NGO, it's called the Youth Thalassemia Alliance, YTA. So does that mean, would we be right in presuming that you have a lot of young people helping you to further the cause of awareness?
Yes, towards the awareness, towards to the management on thalassemia, and actually, after my sister, I found this NGO. So my NGO aim is face, fight, and finish thalassemia. So first we need to face the problem, accept that we are thalassemic, and face the all the challenge, fight for the rights, and then we aware to the youth to finish the thalassemia. This is the main motto of our NGO. So I want to all youth should join us and do promote our NGO's main aim to face, fight, finish thalassemia.
So, how would you now? That's very interesting, Sangeeta. So, face, fight, and finish. Will you tell us or tell our audience? Give us very in brief. How do you face? How do you fight? And how do you finish?
So for face, for the patients, we have to accept first that we are a thalassemic. We live this life with normally, so we need to fight for the rights, for the patient's rights, like for example, the quality of blood we require, the quality of treatment we require, the education and jobs, everything which we required, we need to fight for this. And finish for to youth and to the nation, because I wanted to see this nation zero thalassemia. So for that, I request to all government and the other bodies to do the mandatory test for thalassemia screening HbA2. It's a electrophoresis test. It's a very simple test, and it's a mandatory to the all to gynec to the do the thalassemia test for the pregnant ladies. So at least we can see our nation zero thalassemia like Cyprus. So this is the main objective of this work, because for this actually we need to united, and we do this way into the very strongly, and togetherness is also required. But maybe every NGO is doing their work in their terms, but still we are don't know about thalassemia. Still many people are showing me the blank faces when I'm saying thalassemia. So for me it is very shocking in 70s, and in this era is it the same condition is there. So it is very bad because still psychosocial issues are there, financially burden is there for everyone, for the patient and the family. So I want to be aware all to the nation.
Absolutely. So that was very interesting. So you are saying that Cyprus as a country is free of thalassemia. Is that the case?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and tell me one thing, Sangeeta. You talked about financial burden. So, how much does a transfusion normally cost for for a patient?
See, in like in SBDC, actually patients are getting blood transfusion free of cost, but maybe some testings are not available, so patients are going into the private hospital. So in private hospital, blood is free, but the bed charges and everything is there. So it's cost around 4,000 or 5,000 for the per unit. So per transfusion cost around 10,000 for the patients who are going to the private hospital, because SBTC did the mandatory, the blood transfusions free, but bed charges, filter charges, nursing charges, everything is there.
Could you elaborate what you mean by SP?
As SBTC, State Blood Transfusion Council.
Okay, and which is there in every state, in every capital of the state. Okay, so they give you blood for free, but you have to pay for the admission and bed charges. Got it. So that's the money that one has to have at private hospital. Got it.
To the private hospital, not to the government. Government, everything is free.
तो मुझे एक बात बताइए संगीता जी, when you are talking about, you talked about societal challenges, attitudinal challenges. So in your entire work of working, you're on a personal capacity, you are advising people with thalassemia. What are the kind of challenges you see, let's say, young people or people with thalassemia face in employment, where places where they are already employed? Are there challenges that they face that we can speak about here, so that people who are listening to us would be sensitized and do something about it?
Yeah, but we still, suppose if I'm going for a job into corporate sector, if I'm saying I'm a thalassemia, So they said, okay, the thalassemia, it's a genetic disorder, maybe they hurts, and okay, aap to kuch kar hi nahi paoge. So they don't take that person. So this is the major challenges there. So the patient in my session, they always ask me the simple question, ma'am, मुझे बताना है कि नहीं job पे कि मैं thalassemia हूँ कि नहीं. Because तो मैं so what I'll say कि first you prove yourself, and first you accept that you're a thalassemic, because they are saying, patients are saying, like there is a very simple common language in our thalassemia world कि thalassemia ने मेरी life झंड कर दी है. Like for example, for because of thalassemia I'm not getting married, I'm not getting good jobs, like many rejections are there. So some are easily acceptable and some are not, because everybody is not same. Some are sensitive, some are like uh, not sensitive, some are practical, some are not. So it is different era, and some patients are actually not taking proper treatment, so their body is not giving support to work like a non-thal people do. I don't mention that normal and thalassemic, I said non-thal doing is. So these are the challenges are always there. So I try to motivate to all the patients that first you accept that you're thalassemic and you are a normal, you only required RBCs, and whatever the society is saying, you just prove yourself, be normal, and then slowly and gradually everybody loves you and accept you. But still rejections are there, still people are saying sympathy, not empathy. So these still eras and mental blocks are there in society.
I think that's there, Sangeeta, also because it is also, which is something that you're doing, advocacy. It is very important for us to share stories. It's very important for us to grab every opportunity that we have to let people know that whether it is thalassemia or hemophilia or sickle cell anemia, all these blood disorders are invisible, and that by itself is a disadvantage where you don't look disabled, and therefore they have these questions. And somebody who's absolutely not aware of thalassemia, as you said, all it requires is a transfusion, and it has nothing to do with my capability or my capacity to do work. So this sensitization has to come about. But you mentioned marriage, and I wanted to ask you this: that what would be your suggestion to if there are two people, the boy and the girl, if they are thalassemic, what is the equation? What do you suggest about a marriage as far as they're concerned? Supposing they want to get married.
So first we do the thalassemia status, thalassemia screening test. If mother is minor and father is minor, so in every pregnancy 25% is charged to getting a kid of thalassemia major who required the frequent transfusion. We don't want it to like thalassemia parent get married. So because this 25% chances is always there. So we don't want that. So we advise to not to get married with if you both are thalassemic minors. So if one partner is minor and one is a normal, then it is fine, and normal like non-thal, and both are minor, so it is always risk there. If अगर minor भी होता है तो वो generation में आप spread कर रहे हो.
I've got it. Got it. So that means the major advice to everybody who's listening to us is that irrespective of anything, if you decide, anybody, anywhere, if you decide to get married, you owe it to yourself and to your future generation, if at all, to know if both of you are thalassemia free or not. So, and if you are thalassemia minor, then you ought to know that there is a 25% chance that the child could have thalassemia major or even thalassemia minor, which would require transfusion. Sangeeta, if there is anything that we have not asked you, please feel free to let us know. Of course, we would love to know if there is anything particular that has happened in the field of advocacy as far as government is concerned, or where do you see YTA actually the future of YTA in the country with the work that you're doing?
Yeah, because my dream is to because for thalassemics, like youth should come forward and do the volunteering blood donate, because many youth is still hesitating to donate the blood. So I just wanted to convey my message to please donate the blood, because all thalassemic and sickle cells and who require the bloods are dependent youth. So please come forward and donate the blood. And secondly, to the youth, I request please know your thalassemia status first before marriage. And to all the gynec, I request do the mandatory test for all the pregnant ladies for thalassemia status. And still, we are not getting proper medicine free of cost from the government. And still, we are facing lots of issues into the jobs and everything. So maybe slowly and gradually it's improved. But uh, whatever my dream and my thing is, if we cannot unite it, so it will not happen. So I request you all to enjoy from the India, just please be united, and because we need to see our nation zero thalassemia. So we are blaming to the system and all, but first charity begins at home. So just available, I'm doing traveling, so I'll talk to the rickshaw wala also, कि that you know what is thalassemia. So that way we are doing. So I just want to, youth should be aware about thalassemia and government know the seriousness about the thalassemia.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. One last thing, because you mentioned blood donation. Now, if I have to donate blood, how do I go about it?
You can walk down to any nearest your blood banks, and like for me, like many donors are my own donors, so they can ask me, Sangeeta, wherever your transfusion, so they can come down to my hospital and they can donate the blood. And nowadays like blood banks are like that, if you 2 3 donors are there in your society, we come with the van also, and and we take the donations also. So it's like for after COVID, I lost many of friends because due to lack of blood. So after that, many hospitals, even government hospitals, they arrange for the vanity vans for the blood drives also. So it is very easy method. It takes only half an hour. So that's my request to donate all the person to you.
It is such a simple request, but as you rightfully said, एक डर एक फियर आई थिंक ब्लड डोनेशन के लिए लोगों में होता है कि हम ब्लड डोनेट करेंगे तो हम वीक हो जाएंगे, उल्टा ही है. सो आई थिंक इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दिस मैसेज दैट कम्स फ्रॉम Sangeeta Wadhwa, who herself is thalassemia major, goes for transfusion every 15 days, and there are millions of our friends with thalassemia in our country, many of whom we lost during COVID because of the lack of blood. And I think that should not happen for all the people in our country who are not who are fortunate to not have thalassemia, but they should use that fortune and that privilege to better the lives of people who have thalassemia by a simple act of donating blood. So this one message that can go to everybody who's listening. Go ahead and collect your friends so that a van can come to you to donate, to take your blood in the comforts of your home, or you just walk in to a blood donation camp and donate blood. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, on behalf of Aastha and me for this of your time. We wish you all the very best. As far as Trinayani is concerned, you know that we are always there for any kind of a support that we can give towards not only creating awareness, but doing whatever we can, if given the right information, to further the cause of a healthy life for all our friends with thalassemia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.